Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, as always, welcome to the party. Can't even speak today. If you're an OG, thank you so much for coming back. So just a warning, guys, today's video is going to be a story time video and it gets personal, it really does, but I like to share this story because I feel like if I can help someone and if this can resonate with someone, this can actually be a really useful video just to show someone that you're not alone. There are other people that are experiencing some of the same things that you're experiencing. So let's talk about it. I went to undergrad at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. I received my bachelor's in health science. Shout out to the first HBCU 1854, first HBCU for sure. Woo, woo.
Corny.
Yeah. So after that, I got accepted to Columbia University in New York. And when I tell you, y'all, that was my dream school. So when I got accepted into that school, I was like, okay. I was just like, I see you, God. I see you making all of these, like just making these things happen. I was just like, I like it. I love it. Yeah, so I was just overwhelmed, overjoyed. Long story short, I was going into the master's in human nutrition program. And this program is a 1-year intensive program. So it's pretty intense. But I was just like, you know what? You allowed this to happen. Like, I'm going there for a reason. Like, it's going to be good, right? I was hyped. I was pumped up. My mom was super excited. Like, the day that I got accepted, I think we went out, like, when I went home in the summertime. And she was telling everybody that I got accepted into Columbia. And I actually ended up getting free stuff from all of the people that she told about like my Columbia acceptance. Like it was hilarious, y'all. Like she literally was shouting it from the rooftops. But moving right along, so fast forward to when I go to grad school, and I noticed that it's definitely a lot different from an HBCU. I'm used to seeing people that look like me. I'm used to a very close-knit, tight school. Columbia is huge. There's tons of people. In my program in particular, there weren't a lot of people that look like me. So that was something that I struggled with when I first got there. So fast forward to the classes. The lectures were about 3 hours long. The workload was super intense. So I definitely had a hard time making friends, a hard time adjusting just to everything that was going around me. And it literally was like a blur. I got to just start, I started taking the classes and it was just really hard for me. Like I found myself just not being able to adjust and just handling that workload and having to deal with like super hard science classes. Like I know I was called to go through to go to this school. I know that this was something that I wanted to do. Like my heart was in this work. I know that I was called to be a nutritionist and to do this work, but it was just really extremely hard for me. And I'm going to talk about some instances that occurred right now. So my first semester, the first couple of months there, like I mentioned before, it was hard to adjust. I also found myself being lonely. I didn't feel like I connected to a lot of people around me, but I can honestly say it was because I was so uncomfortable with the environment that I was in because it was just so new. So I felt like I literally like clamped up and went into like a turtle shell. Like I was literally like this the whole entire time. So I found myself just not talking to people. It was like I was a completely different person. And I can be shy when I first get to know people. But when I open up, like you won't even know I'm an introvert. I call myself an extrovert introvert now. But I couldn't just open up. And when I was taking these classes, I found like I had a lot of anxiety. I remember one time in particular where I was taking a test in a class, and we literally had like 5 minutes left. My heart was beating so fast out of my chest. Like I literally thought I was about to lose it. Like I literally was just like, I can't do this. So taking that test was super, super hard. The whole entire first couple of months was hard, especially biochemistry. Like I found myself struggling so much in biochemistry. I literally had to do like tag teams with the TAs to make sure I was like absorbing the information and just making sure that I was on track. Another thing that was super, super hard too is just that when I would go to class, like I wouldn't want to be like within the seats where everyone else was. So what I would do is, this was something that I just really had to do to like stay grounded. Like when I tell you I was a completely different person, I was a completely different person. So I would go to the back of the classroom and I would literally sit in the back of the class because I felt more grounded. Like if I need to make an exit, I could just be out. If I needed to just take a breather, or if I didn't want anyone to like look at me or anything like that, I always stayed at the back of the class. I did participate. I didn't participate a lot, but of course, you know, in grad school, you got to do your presentations and everything like that. And oddly enough, the presentations, I was always able to just keep myself together. But one thing in particular that I want to bring up is imposter syndrome. So I struggled with imposter syndrome so much when I was in grad school. So imposter syndrome, meaning that I felt like I wasn't who I was. Like I felt like I was not supposed to be there. Like I knew I got accepted into this program, but I felt like I'm like wrong. Like I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like I don't feel like I'm in the right place. Like did they make a mistake like accepting me? Am I really supposed to be in this program? Do I even belong here? So just having that mindset just throughout my whole entire graduate journey, it was really hard for me to have like faith in myself, even though I got the green light and God was like, okay, you're in your dream school. Like he allowed everything to happen. It was just like, you brought me here, but I'm failing because I was definitely doing really bad my first year. Like I've never, the grades that I got my first semester at grad school, those are grades that I never ever saw. A little background history about me. In high school, I feel like I was a so-so student. In college, I was definitely like a really like good student. I was a student athlete. I was involved in a lot of different things on campus, a part of a social fellowship. Shout out to Swing Fi Swing. I was also just really involved in my schoolwork and my classes and all those things of that nature. I had a pretty good like GPA. Like my GPA was a 3.6 or like a 3.7, something around there. In Columbia, my grades didn't look anything like it did in college. So I was just like, wow, like from going from a place where in like academia where you felt like you were always doing pretty good, like you weren't struggling, to going to a place where you're just like, wow, I'm struggling right now. And on top of that, having the anxiety, having the imposter syndrome, just feeling like, oh my goodness, like I can't get myself. And the reason, and I'm saying this story and it's just like all over the place because I literally felt all over the place at that time. So yeah, it was just like completely blocked out. And I also had to stay up super late. So I was drinking so much coffee, y'all.
Give me the caffeine.
I needed to stay up because I needed to study, because I always felt like I never studied enough. Like mind you, the program that I was in, it's an amazing program. The faculty is super helpful. The classes that we take are super interesting. It's literally amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change what I went through for the world, because it definitely made me stronger. It definitely made my faith increase as well. And just knowing that I went through this certain thing and I came out of it, I'm just like, just thank God.
Amen.
But See, I'm getting sidetracked with this story, but hopefully you guys are following me. Anyway, back to what I said. So I'm going to go to the depression now too, because depression is something I definitely felt. A lot of times after I took classes, after I took tests, I just felt that constant anxiety. Like I could never feel like I can just have a breath of just breathing and just being in the moment, because I was always just worrying about the next test, the next exam, the next this, the next that, being depressed because I didn't really have a friend circle. I didn't feel like I connected with people. But shout out to the people that I did connect with, because they were like lights for me during that time. Like when I felt like I had like no one there were people that I actually like felt connected to, and definitely family, my friends, and my mom, for sure, for just being that being people that just speak life into me during this time. So something that I definitely had to do was I went to a therapy group. Y'all, that group therapy group was phenomenal, because you could actually see people that were going through the same things that you went through. And always at those times as well, when I went to church, I always felt like I was there at the right moment. It was crazy. Whenever I had my breakdowns, there were always people to just like speak life into me at that moment. So I felt like everything was on the money. It was right where it needed to be, despite all the craziness around me. And another thing too, when I look back on my graduation, I wasn't even happy at my graduation, because I was just like, did I even pass? Like, I'm at this graduation ceremony, still have to do my thesis, the grades still haven't came out, and I'm just like, am I supposed to even be here? I still felt that imposter syndrome at graduation. I didn't even go to my department graduation because I felt like I wasn't good enough and I wasn't supposed to be there. So it was just an extremely rough time for me. And I say this and I share my story just to let people know, if you have dealt with this, if you're dealing with this right now, other people deal with it as well. You are not alone in their situation. And I don't want to end this story, of course, on a sad note, because it did not end on a sad note. So moving along, fast forward to past all of that stuff, the day that I got my grades back, I literally checked my grades, and I was so nervous to check my grades because I did not know if I passed or if I failed. And when I tell you, my grades were looking really low, really, really, really low. Like my GPA, my first semester, like if I would have graduated that first semester, it would not have been enough to get my degree. So my second semester, I had to make sure I worked hard. Like I said before, meeting up with those TAs, studying like crazy, trying to get a grip on like my mental state and my anxiety, my depression, and my imposter syndrome. So the therapy really helped as well. Having people around me to just encourage me, all that good stuff. So went to check my grades, and I look and I noticed that I passed. And I was just like, wow. And literally, I tell you, all I could say was Jesus, 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 because there's no way I would have passed without God. Like there's no way, like no one can tell me anything about that situation, because that's one situation where I felt like I was not going to make it out. So I'm just extremely thankful for that. And it's just so amazing, because imagine if this was just way back when, fast forward to when I was at Lincoln. And imagine if he told me, like, you're gonna go to Columbia, your dream school, but you're gonna suffer with anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, and you're almost gonna be on the brink of failing. Do you think I would have said yes to that? No, I wouldn't have said yes at all. So just knowing what I know now, knowing how everything just came out, like just knowing that it's so important to just understand that when you are in those times, you are right where you need to be. And to be honest with you, imposter syndrome is still something that I face today. Like, even just from going through that in grad school, I still feel like when I do certain things, am I doing enough? Or like, am I even who I say I am? Like, I know I have my master's in nutrition, but am I a nutritionist? So those are things that I still experience now to this day. But then I just remind myself of the time where he was faithful and he came through, and just reminding myself who I am. And if he called me to do this work and this is my purpose, then I'm in the right place. Sorry, y'all. Don't want to make this too long, but that's my grad school story. I want to end by encouraging and giving some tips to people that may have found themselves in a similar situation, or if you're in that situation right now. Like I said before, I want to remind you that you are not alone. There are a lot of people that go through this, especially in grad school. The people that I saw, and people may pretend like they have it all together, but inside they literally can be falling apart. So number one is realizing you're not alone. Definitely another tip is realizing when you need help. So whether that help be counseling, whether that be going to TAs, going to the director of your department, talking to people, whatever that help looks like for you, get the help. It is okay to ask for help. Literally, if I did not ask for help, I would not have my degree and I would not have made it through this experience. Another thing I would say is just trust and believe that if this is a divine assignment that he has over your life and something that you're supposed to do, like, he's not going to bring you this far to leave you. So just know that whatever it is that you're doing, he's going to make a way. As crazy as it sounds, in that moment when you're going through what you're going through, he's going to make a way. So that's something else I want to leave you guys with. Another thing that I want to leave you guys with too is to find outlets during that time when you feel stressed, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you're a completely different person. Do things that make you feel like you. So some of the things that I did, I exercised. I was in the gym, y'all. Like, sometimes I couldn't even go to class without being in the gym, because that physical activity, that running, that getting physical stuff in, it really allowed me to woozah and breathe and relax. So that was something that was really helpful for me as well. Let me see what else. I had a vegan meetup group at that time. So being able to be around other vegans and eat yummy, healthy food and just have these get-togethers, those were lights in the tunnel, dark tunnel as well. So do things that make you feel like yourself, I would say, definitely. But that's my grad school story. I hope that you guys were able to get something from this. It's something that's very, very personal to me, but I felt the need to share because I don't never want people to look at me and think that I have everything together. Like, I'm still very much a work in progress. I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm finding all these things that are revealed to me. And I'm still just on this whole journey. I'm about to turn 25 soon. So I still have a lot to learn in this whole thing that we call life. But I definitely want to bring light to that because I know that people do struggle with the things that I mentioned. So just remember all of those things that I said. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I know this is a touchy topic. Also, if you feel like you want to share this video, please share this video as well. Like, you never know what someone's going through. So this, who knows, this could help someone. This could encourage someone. This can actually be a guide to someone like, oh my goodness, me too. Like, I've been through that as well. So please, please, please do that. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more story times about different things. So yes, definitely subscribe if you want to see that. You can even press the little bell button on my page if you want notifications for when I post a new video. I post new videos every single Tuesday and every single Thursday. I love you guys so much that I have to post 2 times a week. But that is all, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.